Hi, this is Pastor Greg, coming to you maybe not live, but alive. Alive with hope and anticipation of all the opportunities we have to be God's people in the world. In the Gospel of John, the 9th chapter, we have a wonderful story of Jesus giving sight back to a man who had been born blind. There's a lot in that story, and we all know that we appreciate our sight and we can see all the beauty of the world around us. But in this story, Jesus is getting to the point that there's a lot more to sight than just what we can physically see with our eyes. For example,
today I am going to interview Regan Klatt and Raleigh Matika. First, I will be starting with Raleigh Matika. What is your favorite sport?
Football.
I see. What is your favorite food?
Pizza.
I see. What is your favorite subject at school?
Math.
I see. Next, I'll be doing Regan Klatt. What is your favorite sport?
Softball.
I see. What is your favorite food?
Rice.
I see. What is your favorite subject at school?
Science.
I see.
as you can see, when we ask people questions such as those, we sometimes respond to their answers by saying, I see. There are different ways of seeing. We can see with our eyes, but we can also see with our hearts and with our minds. And that is what Jesus is really getting into in this conversation and this story in John chapter 9 when he heals the blind man of his sight. The Pharisees were very upset that Jesus healed this man on the Sabbath. They couldn't see with their mind and their heart that Jesus was doing God's work. He was healing this man. He was loving this man, even on a day that he wasn't supposed to be working. But love and healing even trumps that. And the Pharisees couldn't see that. Love is always first with Jesus. So Jesus restores the sight of this man born blind, but he also gives him understanding. He gives him sight that way as well. There was once an ancient rabbi who asked his students how they could tell when night had ended and day was on its way back. Could it be when you see an animal in the distance and can tell whether it's a sheep or a dog? No, replied the rabbi. Could it be when you look at a tree in the distance and you can tell whether it's a fig tree or a peach tree? No, replied the rabbi. Well then, when is it? Demanded the students. It is when you look on the face of any man or woman and see that she or he is your brother or sister. Because if you cannot do that, then no matter what time it is still night. That is the kind of vision, that is the kind of I see that Jesus restored to this man, and Jesus wants to restore to you and me. One of my favorite people of all time, my grandmother, ended up with a tumor that caused her to go blind. And when we would go and visit her, she would always grab our hands and she would tell us, you are so beautiful, you are so nice looking, you're just a wonderful, beautiful human being. She couldn't see us, but that isn't what she meant. She had a sight beyond what her physical eyes could do. That's a little bit of what Jesus is getting at. So when we say, I see, we can see, but we can also see mind and heart. Jesus wants us to truly see each other as brothers and sisters in his name and love because of what he has done for all of us. Thanks be to God.